Hey everybody, figured I'd try this whole YouTube thing, see if it works out for me. I'll be trying to post things as whenever I work on them. So the whole purpose of this is I'm a fourth generation farmer. Well, it's a weird story. So my great grandfather came over from Hungary, where he was a farmer, started the family farm here in the United States in Indiana, gave it to his boys. They all got into a fight and split the family farm up. And my grandfather gave it to his boys, who all got in a fight, split the family farm up. Eventually, it was supposed to go to me. That didn't happen. We pretty much got out of the family farm. And anybody who's farmed knows that there's a bug. Once you farm, you just got to farm. You love it. Big drive for me is I have an 8-year-old son. The bug's always been there, but since he's gotten older and shown a lot of interest in it, it's really gotten worse. So, a little bit about my operation. And when I say small farm, I'm not saying it's 50, 60 acres. No, I have a 5 acre lot. I know a lot of guys are going to laugh. Oh, 5 acres ain't really nothing worth doing nothing. About 2 of that's field. My house, my barns, everything is on there. So right now I'm only farming 2 acres of that. My goal is to buy more down the road. But it's a start. 2 acres is a start. Don't ever let anybody sit there and like, oh, 2 acres ain't worth doing. It's a start. And I'll tell you why. One, it kind of hits that bug a little bit. 2, I have a full-time job. I'm a responder. So my schedule's a little iffy. I got 2 kids, a wife, elderly dad who still lives with me. And I see, especially in this day and age, a lot of people get big loans out, buy a bunch of land, and fail. You know, all this equipment expenses, all this fertilizer expenses, everything. Oh, holy crap. You see so many people go bankrupt trying to do this. And I am taking the slow approach. I built this barn probably about 10 years ago by myself. I was working 3 jobs at the time. One job was literally a part-time gig just to pay for the supplies for this barn. I built it all myself. Took me 2 years to get it done. It's small, but it fits my needs for the most part. I can do 99% of what I need to do, either in the barn or right outside the barn. Equipment. So right now I currently have 3 tractors. What I consider a large tractor is my 110 horsepower Oliver 1950T. A Super 55 Oliver, which were the only 2 pieces of equipment that my dad got when the family farm split. He had bought those, and we had split up, and that's what he bought them, so they were his. And then my first tractor that I bought was a Massey Harris 22. Thing was destroyed. So you'll find out on this. I buy a lot of junk, and I fix it because there's no debt. You know, I paid $400 for that Massey. Had it in the barn here for probably about 8 months, and it putting rings and stuff in it. But I bought what it needed as I could afford it. So it took me 8 months to get it running and get it going, but it is a beautiful running tractor. Same thing with everything I have. So the only loan I have pulled out for any of the equipment I have was I recently bought a Gleaner F with a 4-row corn head and a 16-foot grain platform. And I got that for, I thought it was a pretty good price. I think I paid $32 for it, plus shipping was about $750, $800. It was 40 miles up the road. I didn't feel like spending 6 hours driving home, so I paid for the shipping. I got the loan out for it. Figured I get the loan for the shipping as well. Up to date, I said I've been trying to do this for about 10 years now. That is the only loan for anything I have gotten. And I will pay that off before I go for my next loan, which I try to do without loans. But my next thing is the only thing I'm really missing that I want would be a grain truck. Um, so equipment wise, right now, I have the Oliver 1950T Super 55 Massey Harris 22, the Gleaner F. I have a 4-bottom Oliver moldboard plow, which I think I picked up at an auction for $200-300. Needed bearings and stuff, and I had to sand the moldboards down and get some cultures for. A John Deere 8-foot KBA disc. Picked that up for $200. Ended up dropping another $300-400 in new blades. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of criticism. Well, you're dumping more money in the stuff what it's worth. I fix it as I have the money. So the disc is a prime example. It had a lot of broken blades on it, but I was able to make 3 gangs the first year I had it out of what was good. So I bought 1 set of blades for the gang that was all destroyed. And then over the winter, I bought another set of fronts. And then I ended up having enough money in the spring left over to buy the rest of the blades. So it's got all new blades and bearings on it. Yeah, I got cheap stuff. I'll be honest with you. I went to Agri Supply, so it's Chinesium. But for what I do, it'll be fine. I have a John Deere 494A planter. Picked that up about $400 or $500. Something I bought in the fall. Somebody else's project they didn't want anymore. Fixed it all up. Same thing. You know, I got a pretty decent deal on it. I think the guy wanted 7. I talked him down to 5. Probably got a couple $100 into that with I got to get a couple roll openers and stuff, which stay tuned. I'm going to be making some modern upgrades of that. I want to convert that to liquid instead of solid fertilizer. That's a different day. I have a sprayer that is way oversized for this farm. I think it's got a 30 to 40 foot boom with a 600-gallon tank, and I use like 200 gallons of that. Came with the valves and everything. Got it from a guy locally. He had a cracked tank in it, about halfway up. Paid the guy $400 for it. Dumped another couple hundred into it for new valves and hoses and everything. Ended up epoxying the tank back up. The thing works great. You know, it's got a little nicks in the ears there, but ultimately I have a 35, 40-foot boom sprayer with a 600-gallon tank that I paid maybe $700 for. I got into. Got a 4-row cultivator. I'd actually gotten that for $300-400 from my cousin who farms up the road. And then I got a gravity wagon. And then we're going to be starting cattle here soon, hopefully in the spring. So I had just gotten a 14T baler that I picked up for $400-500. Put another $300-400 into it, fix it up. Oliver number 2 hay rake that I got for $150. That, to be honest with you, it's a piece of crap, but it works. And then a John Deere sycamore. I want to say it's a number 2 or a number 5. I have to look at the number again. Same deal. Paid $350-400 for it. The blade was frozen. I still got to put all new blades on it yet. But it works. It cuts. I got $80 into actually getting it running. I had to get a PTO for it, or the wood bar, and a couple other things for it. And the last piece of equipment I got is I forget the number on it. That's a cockshut manure spreader. I paid $100 for it, and I ended up putting another 200 in bolts and completely redid it. It was down to the metal when I got it. Pretty much everything was rotted. I had to completely tear it apart, fix some of the metal I-beams on there, build a couple bush bearings for it, put all new wood on it. I want to say it's a 233. But I got that because we got chickens a couple years ago, and I got tired of hauling it everywhere. So now I moved the manure spreader up to the chick coop, and we empty. So animal wise, we got probably about a dozen chickens. We got them because of the big egg boom, and then everybody quit buying eggs because they got cheaper. But we still sell eggs. they kind of pay for themselves at this point. I never got my money back in the what I got in the coop and everything, but I got it set up where I can honestly during the spring, summer, and fall, I can leave them for about 4 or 5 days and not have to worry about them. It's a pretty nice setup. I'll show you that when it warms up. It's probably about 5 degrees out there right now. So that's kind of what this is all going to be out is starting with nothing. The advantage I see of starting with 2 acres field, 5 acre plot, 2 acres of field, is I can get all the kinks worked out. So my family split from the farm when I was about 14 years old, 15 years old. I'm pushing 36 now. Kind of late to get started, I know, but you know, and I was never taught a lot of the stuff I needed to know. I know the general operation, but you know, fertilizers, what best fertilizer to use, what to spray with, GMO, non-GMO corn, how to raise this, how to raise that. You know, I was never taught any of that. The family member who we split from, he kind of kept a lot of that close to his chest and didn't want to share a lot of it. So I am learning a lot of this as I go. And that's the advantage of having a two acre field to start off with is I can buy the equipment as I need it. I can learn on 2 acres. And then when I'm ready to scale up, I scale up. And by the time I'm comfortable enough to scale up, I'll have everything paid for. I have all the equipment. All I'll need is the ground. And you can even rent ground if you have to. So to me, it's a lot easier to screw up 2 acres of corn than it is 20. A lot less expensive too. You know, 2 acres of corn, I'm out on the high end, maybe $500-600 if I completely decimate the field. But it's a learning curve. So that's kind of what this is all going to be all about. It's VDF Farms. If you guys ever know the Swedish Chef and the Muppets, you know, is kind of VDF. It's Vert Farms. That's pretty much how a lot of this goes. So I know this video is pretty long. I'll try to cut it out of here. I got some more things coming up here pretty soon. Right now the weather's almost 0, so I'm trying to do whatever I can to stay warm and not freeze working on the stuff. I got nothing really pressing going right now except for some personal things. Yeah, keep an eye out, and I'll post next video will probably be what my shop looks like. Ain't the greatest thing in the world, ain't the most insulated thing in the world, but it's mine. It's paid for. Everything in it's paid for. Well, except for the truck I'm working on, but that's beside the point. Yeah, we'll go from there. Said I'm gonna get a lot of haters from only farming 2 acres out of a 5 acre plot, but you got to start somewhere. And to those who want to hate, you know, everybody's complaining that, you know, oh, you might not even do anything for that. You're not going to make any money. Right now, I don't plan on making money. I have a full-time job, pays pretty decent. I'm trying to get the bugs worked out and the kinks worked out. And down the road, I'll get more ground and expand the operation. But you have to start somewhere. Everybody's complaining about the farmers are dying, nobody's going to replace them, and then they put everybody down for trying to start. Starting. Whether you start with a 5 acre plot or you start with a 30 acre plot, starting is starting. So remember that. Stay tuned, and hopefully I'll see you soon.